Hello, welcome to this episode of Market Pulse. My name is Ajit, the founder and mentor at learnpricectiontrading.com. Let's take a look at what Nifty has been doing and is likely to do coming in this coming week. Let's quickly begin our analysis with the monthly chart. So, as expected and as discussed in our previous market pulse, Nifty has broken this monthly demand zone. Now that's a weak sign for the markets. Since we have broken a monthly demand zone, there is a good chance that eventually markets could still further move down to these areas. That is about 14,600 as per the monthly chart. If any smaller demand zones we move up, there is a potential to move up to, let's say, based on the monthly chart, around 16,400 to 16,500. So that's the supply zone, wide supply zone on the monthly chart. So you can't decide trade based on this. You'll have to look at the smaller time frame. So that's going to be the range, approximately 16,400 to 14,600 to 14,500 based on the monthly chart. The trend on the trend is nicely down with lower highs and lower lows, so we could see more push coming to the downside. On the weekly chart, let me just remove this. On the weekly chart, if you see, we have clear supplies. The main supply as of now is this area, which is 16,800. I mean, for the index to move all the way to 16,800, we have to rise quite a bit. So we'll have to wait for smaller time frames to get some confirmation before we go long. This is still the weekly demand zone, wherein we have the monthly demand zone as well. So again, on the weekly, the range is same. So pretty much similar, approximately 16,800 to 14,600. But remember, this gap at 15,880 might pose strong resistance, as there could be some sell orders which could again push the markets down. So whatever if you are in a long position here, your target should be somewhere close to 15,800. The trend on the weekly is clearly down. Now remember, since this is a bear market, in bear market we have very strong impulses to the upside, the counter move impulses. So there is still a possibility that Nifty might move up faster, but we'll have to wait for some more bullish price action to develop before we look at it. Now on the daily chart, that's the supply that I was talking about, which is going to be tough for it to negotiate immediately. Yes, markets may go all the way to 15,700 if we hold these lows of 15,180 odd levels. It looks like markets are holding it, so a good move up to this is possible. If we move with many candles, the supply may hold and it could drop down. But if we go with a nice bullish candle, one or two bullish candles, then the next targets would be somewhere close to these areas. Primarily, this is that supply zone, which you can then eventually target, which again nicely sits with the weekly and the monthly supply zones. Now, where is Nifty moving from? If you take a look at this point, that was a prior high and consolidation for the index, which was finally broken out from these areas of demand zone. So that's the monthly area, daily area of demand zone from where the index is moving. Further areas of demand zone are again at this price point of 14,600. So if you see, as long as we are holding this level, that is 15,100, we have a good chance to move towards 15,700 and then 16,000. So till then, this is the range that you will play for probably the next 2 days. In the index, on the long side, we are pretty low. So there is good reward to risk ratio if you go to smaller time frames and take a long position, either intraday or it could even be a quick short-term trade. So 75-minute, we don't have any supply zone. So if we start moving beyond 400 tomorrow and start trading above 400, or even have a close tomorrow beyond 400, 450, that's going to be quite bullish. You could expect the prices to again retest 15,700 to 15,880 level. So slightly bullish bias, but only based on confirmations. We still do not have enough confirmation. Remember, the higher time frame trends are strongly down. So if I go to smaller time frame, let's say 15 minutes, this is the range that the index has been playing so far. So it's the range here. We can go back in history and see that there'll be a demand area. Which is holding the prices up on a 15-minute chart. So if anybody is a short-term income trader, can look at some smaller time frame price actions and move up to 15,700. So that's a 15-minute demand zone as of now, sitting within that. And once we break this range, you can expect it to move towards 15,700. So cautiously bullish bias, no shorts because we're pretty low on the curve. Unless we break 15,000, we should not be looking at shorting, and shorting will only be at retracement. Above 15,700, you can look at some quick shorts. Let's take a look at what Bank Nifty has been doing and is likely to do in this week after a good selling pressure over the last week. Starting with the monthly chart, Bank Nifty is at a very nice area of demand zone here, though it could still further go deeper into that demand zone. It's not going to be easy for Bank Nifty to break this. So you could see this moving down probably even till 31,000 based on the monthly chart. And on the upper side, you could see supply getting active for Bank Nifty around 35,000 to 35,500. That is going to be the range based on the monthly chart. We are consolidating, though immediately we have lower highs and lower lows. Bank Nifty is a little bit stronger as compared to Nifty. If you see, this is a low that we had printed, we still haven't printed that low. If Bank Nifty were to break this low, then Nifty index would probably break the 15,000 mark. On the weekly chart, so when I come to the weekly chart, that was a point where we had that strong breakout on Bank Nifty for prior all-time high, and this is the area of demand zone from where the index has moved and again printed a new high. So that's a weekly demand zone. We are again to that area. Remember, there are no supplies here except for this gap level, which could create some issues. Otherwise, straight Bank Nifty has enough room for itself to go to that area. So that's about 35,400. So this is going to be the range. We are at low end of the range from where the index had moved. So shorting may not be advisable at this point. I mean, you can do intraday shorts, but swing shorts only at these areas. Wait for confirmations to go long. Currently, the price of 33,700 could be the immediate target on the weekly chart where we have that strong gap. Now the daily is giving more comfortable picture for buyers or the long traders. So that is the crucial demand on Bank Nifty on the daily chart. This is that area of demand zone, has been held multiple times and we are there again. We still haven't broken the low of March that we had printed where we hit this and had a very strong bounce. We came to that area and took 2 days of price action, which is holding the lows. So that is good enough for you to at least make a wait for some quick confirmation on smaller time frames and target up to 33,700. This gap is what is going to create, hold the prices, and then the further, if we go beyond that gap, that's going to be the target 34,800. So on the daily, we have I can include this supply as well. So your long profits, you can book it at these areas. So based on the daily chart, that's going to be the range that Bank Nifty will probably move this week. If you hold these lows, expect it to go up to this gap. And once we start going beyond that, then probably very quickly it will go to these areas where we can look at some swing shorts based on confirmation. Remember, we are very low on the price curve for both Nifty and Bank Nifty. So shorts, those who are holding shorts can look at booking out partial shorts and trail your stop losses. So on the 75-minute chart, that's the first supply zone that we need to negotiate for Bank Nifty. So if tomorrow, let's say Bank Nifty breaks this supply, then probably the range could be between 33,750 to 33,200. Within these areas, it will keep oscillating and then try to make an attempt to go this. But all depends on how the next 2 days Bank Nifty has this price action created. So right now we are probably moving up from this low area. So that's the area from where we are going. So wait for Bank Nifty to go beyond 33,200 to initiate some longs, or those who are aggressive traders can trade between 32,200 to 33,000. That's a range for you to keep trading Bank Nifty on intraday basis. So if you take a look at a smaller time frames, we are still consolidating here. Once we start going beyond this, that's not going to be a nice zone at about 33,255, where we could do some intraday or short-term income shorts for a quick 2:1. So cautiously bullish again. Need to wait for more price action. Bank Nifty is stronger than Nifty, but we need some more price action. And if the lows are held or 32. 100 is held, we can make a good attempt to travel all the way up to 33,700 and 34,400. So that's the outlook for Bank Nifty this week. Be cautious, don't over leverage, trade at small position size and shorts only when we come to good supply areas.